into it. So, brothers, um, you know, I'm going to bring up about good women, brothers. If you have a good woman and she is supportive, you better take care of her. You better take care of her if you have a good woman on your side, brothers, because not a lot of you will get that. Especially if you have a baby mama terrorist that is trying to mess your life up. And if you have a woman that is willing to take care of your child that didn't come from her, she's a good woman, brothers. In my opinion, she's a good woman. All right, you don't want to let that woman go. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this court case because, as you can see, this plaintiff here, I guess she's suing the defendant, and it all surrounds their daughter. But you're going to see how good. Let me rephrase that. You're going to see that the defendant has a good woman on his side. But I'm going to get into this. But I'm going to talk. It's going to be a lot to talk about. But brother, just know that if you have a good woman on your side, keep her and treat her right. Because there's going to be some time. Because she's definitely your backbone. But let's go ahead and get into it.
Plaintiff Catherine Tucker has a child with the defendant, and she says last summer the defendant and his new wife kidnapped her daughter and then told CPS that Catherine duct taped her daughter and gave her alcohol. Catherine says all of the claims were unfounded, so she's suing for defamation. Defendants Tommy Williams and his wife Kawana say Catherine's mother raised their daughter, not Catherine. And they say the child does not feel safe in Catherine's home. Tommy denies kidnapping his daughter, and they're countersuing for defamation and emotional distress.
Let me tell you something, brothers. There was something else that I wanted to point out. Brothers, don't be having your parents raise your children. It is not their responsibility to raise your children. They raised you already. They tired. They want to be able to live the rest of their life chilling. They should not be stressed out with your child. It is not your grandparents' responsibility to raise your children. But let's continue.
Start with you.
Yes, sir. I'm here because these people right here, the defendants, they kidnapped my daughter in July. They refused
They kidnapped your daughter?
Yes, sir. Not only was it difficult enough for them not returning my daughter home, but they also made allegations about me abusing my daughter, duct taping her, giving her alcohol, which caused me to lose the removal of my children, my other children from
For
home.
how long?
For about a month for their investigation,
Gotcha.
which was later proven false.
Okay.
Mr. Williams has always been a good father up until this incident. And
What do you think happened?
I think when they became more serious, he just changed.
Give me the circumstances under which the alleged kidnapping occurred.
Brothers, that's some serious accusations. To say that for her to say that her own father kidnapped their child. And if you notice, brother, she keeps saying my daughter. Not our daughter, my daughter. But let's continue.
How did he get the child?
July 3rd, he picked my daughter up for the 4th of July. And
With your consent?
with my consent, yes, sir. On the 4th of July, my mom was waiting for my daughter to return home.
Was she supposed
Brothers, I'm sorry that I have to keep stopping. Did you hear the judge? With your consent. That seed comes from you, brothers, and still you have to ask the woman to get your own child? That's crazy. And brothers, y'all better watch out because the court is not going to be nice to you men, especially you black men. The court system is more favor the woman. They don't favor the man. They favor the woman. But let's continue.
to return on the 4th?
On the 4th, yes, sir.
Excuse me, Your Honor. No, she wasn't.
All right, let her give her side.
So after around about 9-ish, my mom told me to give Mr. Williams a call.
You
so
called?
I gave him a call at 9:30 to find out what time he was bringing her home. He told me that I was ruining her fun and that he'll bring her home the next day. So I told him that she was in camp, that he needs to bring her home that night. And he told me if I continue calling, he'll do something to me, was his response. We hung up the phone in the conversation. On the 5th of July, when I got off work, my daughter still wasn't at home. On the 6th of July, I ended up calling Mr. Williams. I didn't get a response. I sent him text messages, nothing. So by this time, I'm terrified. I don't know what to do, you know, because my daughter's supposed to be home.
What do you do?
I went to the police on the 7th.
Okay.
I let them know that he had her in his possession. At the time, I did not know where he stayed, so I couldn't go to his house, and I did an incident report.
Now, you let him take the child. I know it's your shared daughter, but you might at least want to know where he lives.
I understand. Well, the thing is, every year they always move.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Does it say on that child support check where he lives?
No, sir, it comes directly on the card.
All right.
Excuse
Yes,
me, Your
sir.
Honor. Because she don't know, because we never dealt with her. We always
Her
dealt
mom.
with Miss Tucker.
She didn't raise those kids. She's
She's
standing up here. Her mom
We always dealt with
had
her mom.
those
You want to
children.
say something? Come on up. State your name.
Yes, sir.
What
My
do you
name
wanna
is
tell me?
Melvina Tucker, and I'm Catherine's mother. They're correct. They always did deal with me, but he knew he was supposed to bring her back. The
How did they
child-
always deal with you?
She was living with me.
Oh, the mom. They didn't want to deal with her because
Each
of
other.
acrimony.
They couldn't get along with each
Gotcha.
other.
No, sir,
So
that's not true.
Will you be quiet? I'm not talking to you.
Go ahead.
So the bottom line is, Your Honor, is that she stayed with me, just like her other children did. He always picked her up from my house. He always returned her to my house. So we still, even when the police called them, they did not respond till 2 days later. When they responded, it wasn't Mr. Williams that called, it was her.
Saying what?
They wanted to know what was going on, why she reported a missing child after 7 days. And nobody's calling, and she's calling his people as well, and nobody's not saying anything.
How was it resolved?
Go ahead.
After a month of investigating with DHR, it was resolved that there was no evidence.
Now, that's the part I missed. They called Department
They
of...
called Department of Human Resource on me, yes, sir.
Hold on. You wanted your child back.
I wanted my child
You went
back.
to the police.
I went to the police.
The police contacted them.
The police contacted
on
them.
the 7th?
On the 7th was the
And-
first call. Miss Kwana, she contacted Detective back on the 11th. And that's when all these allegations end up coming out.
And do you have a letter showing that it
Yes,
was
sir, I do.
unfounded?
Now, brothers, I don't know if y'all was listening, but they took the child for a whole month because she said, according to her, she said her baby daddy, the child's father, and his wife kidnapped the child. So they end up taking that child and her other children away from her for a month to do an investigation. Does that make sense to you? But we're going to get there, but we're going to get the defendant side because just like the judge said, there's some things missing. A lot of stuff ain't making sense, but let's continue.
Okay, what do you all want to tell me about this thus far?
Excuse me, Your Honor. When we first started off, she knew on the 3rd, when I picked up Melissa on the 3rd, that how long I was going to have her because I told her on the phone.
How long did you tell her?
I told her I was gonna have her after I got through getting married, which was on the 14th. So we was gonna return her back that Sunday. Okay, after I get the phone call that after the wedding, because she was trying to stop my wedding, I get the phone call saying from the detective talked to me, not Kwana.
You never heard anything from
I talked to her on.
Listen.
Oh.
She says as of July 4th or 5th, they were calling you. You are sounding as if, and maybe I'm misunderstanding you, is that the first time you heard anything was on July 15th because it was well known between the two of you all that it would be after your wedding. So had you ever heard from them prior to the July 14th or 15th?
I talked to her on the, was it 4th?
The 4th of July.
4th of July.
About what?
She asked me what was Melissa doing. I said I had bought them the big slide.
When did she first ask for your daughter to be returned to her?
She didn't say.
The 4th.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
She didn't say that. You know?
All right. Do you know of her having to go to camp?
Yes, I knew
Oh,
her.
you were going to take the child to camp.
No, because she said they don't do nothing at camp but play. That I was
That's
able.
my point. So she
Yeah.
canceled camp. Did
she
she
cancel?
cancel camp?
Nah, she didn't cancel. I
Okay,
guess
so
not.
you
She
kept the
just didn't
child
let her
from
go.
going to camp.
Yeah.
These people right here, the defendants, they kidnapped my daughter in July.
So, brothers, once we get back, that's when this is where the good woman, because she has to help him out because he's not able to articulate himself. His wife is going to have to do that for him. That's why I say that's why I'm saying, brothers, if you have a good woman, you better not mess that up. Because if she wasn't there, it probably wouldn't have been really look good for him. But let's continue.
July.
They falsely accused her of duct taping her child and giving her alcohol.
Okay.
May I
Why
speak,
did
Your
you
Honor?
keep the child from going to camp?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
He's a little nervous.
Go ahead.
On the 4th, we picked Melissa up on the 3rd. When I went to her home to pick Melissa up, Melissa had a burn in her face. I asked her, what happened? She said, I don't know. He asked Melissa. He even told Melissa he would put Melissa in time out if she did not tell him what happened to her face. To this day, sir, we don't know what happened to her face.
Is this true?
I have pictures.
Is this true?
Melissa-
About
Yes, sir.
no, ma'am.
She did have a burn mark on her
Did
face,
she?
yes, sir.
Who did you ask?
I asked the grandmother. Mr. Williams called Catherine on the 4th when we were supposed to take Melissa
Ask
home.
about the burn.
Yes, sir. When
And
we
what was he told?
That's a lie, Your Honor.
when we were supposed to take Melissa home
All right,
on the
let's
4th,
cut through this. Who asked you about the burn? Did anybody?
DHR.
No.
Pardon me?
DHR brought it up.
she lying.
Okay. Was there a burn on her face?
It was a burn mark on her face,
Where did
yes,
it
sir.
come from?
Boiling eggs.
Was it
From what DHR was said. DHR.
No.
Oh.
She had a burn on her face. Where did it come from? Tell me. Do you know? Let's hold on,
The burn
Grandma.
mark came from when she was returned home after they came from the beach. Melissa did have a scrape on her
And
face.
what date was that approximately?
In June. But
the mark in question, the mark that we're discussing right now, was it on her face before she went with them?
Yes.
Where did it come from?
The only thing that I know is when they returned her from the beach.
No, we're talking. You remember
I
we
don't
just
know.
said, oh, so
When
she
I
was
asked
in your
Melissa,
custody
she-
and you.
You see that, brothers? You see that? This is a whole this case. This is from a year prior. You're telling me even then you didn't even after all this is over a year, and you're telling me that the mother still doesn't know what happened to her daughter's face? A burn mark. And she has no clue. So now the judge is going to have to ask the grandmother what happened because the mother has no clue. And this is her daughter. Brothers, y'all got to, I'm going to say this to you, a lot of you brothers, y'all got to choose wisely on who you give your seed to. Because a lot of these women don't want to be mothers. They have no problem with the title. They don't care about the title, but when it comes to the duty of being a mother, they don't want to do that. There are mothers out here that are giving away their children. There are mothers out here that are letting their parents raise their children. Giving them to the grandmother. Hey, grandma, you take care of my child while I go do this. Running the streets. Trying to so-called get their career up while somebody else is raising their child. My brother here already said that most parents they only spend maybe out of the whole 24 hours, they may spend maybe 45 minutes with their child. And that's not even including sitting at the dinner table, because we know most of the people ain't even sitting at no dinner table no more. They sitting in front of a TV, sitting on the couch. Ask yourself, when was the last time you actually sat at the dinner table as a family? Ask yourself that, brothers. Let's continue, because now we got to find out from the grandmother what happened to her face, because the mother doesn't even know.
And you don't know how she got the burn?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Do you know?
Yes, I do.
How?
We were in the kitchen boiling eggs, and when she went to take the egg out, the water splashed.
Okay.
And that's how she got
Let's
the
see the picture.
Here you go, sir.
And her mother didn't even bother
She
to
was
ask
with
you.
me.
Oh, she never saw her mother ever?
No.
No. Let her tell. Ma'am, talk to me. Did she ever? This is not funny. Her mother not even knowing how she got a burn on her face. Nothing funny about that.
I was not laughing.
You were laughing at something having to do with this case, and that's what this case is about.
She was embarrassed.
Go ahead. What else you want me to know?
What I was gonna show you is, well, can I tell you first if that's
Yeah.
okay? We asked Melissa if she wanted to go home. Melissa said she did not. Melissa said, if you take me home, Daddy, they not gonna let me come back.
Approximately when did she tell you
This was the 4th of July. I have a statement here that she gave to DHR that she is
Who,
fearful
the
of the
daughter?
home. Melissa.
Yes.
Brothers, so-called black men, it is your responsibility to protect your children. That is your responsibility. Not just the mother, but it is definitely your responsibility to protect your children. And listen to listen to this letter that the judge is about to read.
It's at the top, Your Honor. That came from DHR. That's a safety plan.
Melissa is fearful of the home situation at Miss Catherine Tucker's home.
Excuse me, Your Honor. May I say something else?
Yeah.
Melissa has been trying not to go live with Miss Catherine. Tommy sat and talked with the grandmother and asked her if she would keep Melissa and he would get the check taken out of Catherine's name and put into her name. She didn't want to do that.
Okay.
We have here police reports from Catherine and her boyfriend with gun involvements, chasing down the street naked, beating her while she was pregnant. I have all that right here. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please. And you want to know why they...
Brothers, that's a good woman. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I think that brother, the husband would have been fumbling through this whole case and would have messed this whole thing up. So, brothers, again, if you got a good woman, you better take care of her. Go ahead, my brother.
Damn, she's really on point. He really and I agree with that. He really would be fumbling. I think that he is a little afraid. You can tell, but she is on point. Wow, that's a good thing to see something like this. She's really, and that's what that they say opposites attract, but she's on point. She seems like she really is there to be a good person to those children, a good mother figure. So that's a good thing that he found a lady like that.
Exactly. Brothers, don't mess it up, but let's continue.
They called child services on you. Did you know that the daughter said she didn't want to go back home to you all?
She did not
that
tell
she
me
was
that.
fearful?
No, sir.
Yeah, I know you wasn't around. I'm sorry. I'm
wasn't.
asking the wrong person.
You weren't around.
Ma'am, do you know that she said she was fearful
No, sir.
of going
people,
back?
baby.
Okay,
No, sir.
she did. I'm looking at the...
She also said she didn't want to be with them.
Excuse me.
Okay. All right, I don't see that.
Prove it.
I don't see that. I
That
see
was
what she
asked-
said she doesn't want to go to you guys.
And
What do
excuse me, Your Honor.
No.
Hold on.
Okay.
What is it you want to show me?
Melissa,
No. You said you have something there. She gave me her letter. Why don't you just read it for me, that part?
I don't want to read the whole.
No, just read the part where she said she doesn't want to stay with them.
She did want to go with them from
No,
day.
read it then.
Yeah.
You said you have it. Read it.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Okay, General.
Do you have it in that letter? Because you told me you did.
I asked Melissa.
No. Do you have it
No,
in?
sir.
Thank you very much. So you misled me. All right. These police reports, while deputies were on the scene, offender pulled up in the passenger seat of his mother's vehicle. Offender was seen placing something under the seat. While deputies were escorting him to the patrol, offender jerked away and started to run from the deputies. She stated she tried to resist but burned her arm on a cigarette. She stated that she thought, that's one. Deputies were dispatched, came home after drinking. And how did they defame you guys?
Well, She didn't get upset until Tommy told her about Melissa saying that her boyfriend duct taped her, kicked her off the bed.
Who said this?
This is coming
daughter.
from Melissa,
My
talking to
daughter
her
talked.
father.
Said
That her boyfriend duct taped her and kicked her off the bed. They were supposed to be playing. Melissa said she was on the floor crying.
That's
And
a
Miss
lie.
Catherine told her, get up. He just playing with you. She
That's a
said
lie,
she
Your
is
Honor.
scared of him.
we understand
Okay.
all that. That's why the child said she didn't want to go
so
back
when he
home.
talked
I'm
with
clear
her
on that.
on the 4th,
What have they done to you guys?
because she called and said we kidnapped. How can you kidnap a child that belongs to you?
Okay, all right.
And you
Exactly. How can you kidnap a? And I know, yes, and I know it could happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but even in the plaintiff's mouth, she did say that he is a good father. But because he got married is when he became, I guess, a bad father, or he's been messing with her life. But it was
Yeah,
it.
she
But
did say
remember,
that.
exactly. But hey, brothers, again, y'all gotta choose wisely on who you give your seed to. I know that a lot of these women are crazy. A lot of these women are crazy, but you're gonna have to really, and I'm gonna use the word because my brother is the one who told me about it. Y'all have to vet these women, and it ain't gonna happen in those 6 months. It might not even happen in a year, brothers. You gotta vet these women. You gotta know if they really want to be a mother. You gotta know if they really want to be a wife. Because a lot of people will change up on you real quick. Let's continue.
And you do this around the wedding time. Sir, we got married out of town. We left on the 13th. When we came back on the 15th, those were the messages from the detective on our phones about the kidnapping. We did not call DHR.
Did you
The detectives
communicate
called
with her
DHR.
after July 4th when you were to have brought the child home?
Yes. You told her about the burn in the
Yeah.
face.
Okay, and what was her response
She ain't know.
She
again?
ain't know.
Yeah, you're right. Same thing she just told
I
me.
talked to her grandma. I told her grandma that she was fearful.
The mark that we're discussing, these are the facts that I've heard. One, from the plaintiff, I am told that on July 3rd, the child went with her father. The father was supposed to return her July 4th. Then the father didn't return her, so he went to the police. And the police got involved, and the police discovered that the child had burns, and the police had child services interview the child. And the child said she didn't want to come home to you guys. He said that he called and asked how the child got the burns on her face. And you said you didn't know.
It was June when Melissa.
Whenever it was,
I
ma'am.
understand.
No, you can't say anything else. I've heard all the testimony I need to hear, and that is that you called the police on this man saying he had kidnapped his own daughter, even though the daughter he said he kept because she had a burn on her face. He also kept the daughter. The daughter said she didn't want to go home to you all because you were abusive toward her. So you filed a false kidnapping claim against them, I'm going to conclude. And with regard to your counterclaim for defamation and emotional distress, I'm going to grant you your $3,000 for that false allegation of kidnapping that you had to endure. And secondly, ma'am, as I said, with regard to your claim, it's dismissed. They didn't kidnap your child. They tried to get assistance from your child. And you can, sir, your child didn't want to be with you. Your own child said, I'm not going back over there. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You just want my husband, that's all it is. You just want my husband, that's all it is.
Nobody.
Go on, Granny.
Ma.
Don't come over here now. I'm telling you, girl, this ain't what you want.
Ma.
I'm telling you, don't come over here now.
No, Ma, no.
I'm telling you now.
We're not finna do
I'm
that.
telling you now.
No, we're not finna do that.
Nah, yeah. You know, tell me a good man and you messed it up. I see you.
But why?
You know what, man? Look, this a little petty. I mean, you can tell that he got a good woman, but come on, sometimes you got to control your wife, man. Like that's a little bit too much. But I get it. You know what I'm saying?
She get a pass. She get a pass.
Oh, she get a pass.
She get a pass. Yeah, she get a pass.
But yeah, brothers. Look, brothers. If you got a good woman, man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I honestly believe that if she wasn't there and he had to do that alone, he probably would have lost that case. She had everything in order for him because he was fumbling. Brothers, again, if you got a good woman, you better take care of her and stop giving up your seed to these agents of chaos. Let's finish this out.
Why you still calling her?
You
Call her
call
for
who?
what? He calling
Why
you.
you still
He calling
calling
you.
her?
This was a serious situation. Judge Mathis, you are the best. Anytime you need us to come back, we'll be willing to.
Man, look, them crocodile tears ain't gonna help, lady. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, brothers, like I said, brother, if you got a good woman on your side, please, 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 please take care of her. She needs it. She deserves that. She deserves a $3 million ring for that performance that she did in there. You know what I'm saying? Take care of these women, brothers. There are some good ones out there. You just might have to just like
Agreed.
go through the haystack though. But yeah, but there's some good women out there. And Mugga, fix your face. But that's pretty much it. Who do you